Alright, this one is a bit weird. Well, I wouldn't say really weird, but I guess it's unnatural considering that this doesn't happen often. But let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all have dreams?
Nope.
Well, I guess that answers my question. Alright, let's end this video.
Baby, say my name as if you got a...
But if you do have dreams, then you would sometimes have happy ones, sad ones, or different ones that you probably could not even explain. Hell, a lot of the times you be having dreams and you probably don't even remember what was even in that dream. A whole new character popped up in my entire brain just because of that one dream. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how dreams just operate the way it does, but it did. So I'm just gonna explain to you the dream, and then I'll show you what we got going here, because this was just really weird but interesting at the same time. So when I was dreaming, I was walking around somewhere in some type of public place, and apparently I heard some music, and I heard like other people going around, like walking around too, but I mainly heard that music. And so I went up to the band that was playing, and it was like a group of like high school kids or something. They was just playing some random depressing music, I think. And I was like, you know what? That sounded actually kind of good. And so I went over there, and then they looked at me strange, like, who the hell are you? And I was just like, hey, don't stop your music now. I just came here to listen. So I sat down cross-leg style, because I can always do that, and then just, you know, listen to what they was having. And it was a good ass session. It was a legit good session. And so I was curious to figure out more about how they are and how they do things. I don't really remember any of that, unfortunately. For whatever reason, I was really really consistent about trying to know more about them, especially one girl in the group, which was very good at bass guitar. And I ended up getting her name, and her name was Blue, which was strange at first, but then I looked at her entire hair and I was like, oh, maybe that's the reason why. So it was like one other concert that they had, public concert that they had, and it was like nighttime maybe, I think, and then they were just about to start playing and stuff, and one of my IRL homies came through for whatever reason. Let's just call him Nate. My boy Nate come through. He's like, hey, what's up, Jay? What's good? Hey, is this the girl you were talking about in the band? Hey, what's good? He was trying to touch Blue for whatever reason, and then Blue was just looking real pissed at him for whatever reason. Because for whatever reason, Blue does not talk too much. She does not. The only time she said anything was when I asked her for her name, and that's it. That's the only time Blue has ever said anything. But any time than that, you know, she doesn't really talk. And so obviously she was pissed that my boy Nate was coming through and being like, oh, yo, what's good? And granted, Nate's not a bad guy. Nate's really Chad, honestly. But I was like, Nate, sit your dumb ass down, because there's like, they're trying to play a concert. You over here messing stuff up and shit. And then Nate come over, and then my boy Nate come over like, damn, my bad. I'm like, you good, but like, dang, that's not how it operates over here. And so we were just listening to the music together, and I think they finished. And then when I went over to shake Blue's hand, because I was like, thank you for this entire experience, because I started to realize that this was a dream, and I started to wake up, and I was slowly starting to waking up. And like, alright, like, let's say you're about to shake someone's hand, but instead of them shaking your hand, they push their hand to the left and then shake the air. And then that's how she did it. She was a weird case. She was definitely a weird character that I've never seen do anything like that before. And then I woke up and that was the dream. And immediately I had to draw what Blue looked like, absolutely. So this is what Blue looked like in the concept art, at least from what I remember. I do remember her hair having like some kind of distinct, kind of different design, spiky, kind of light long design on her, right side of her face, that place. So I did remember something like that, but everything else, almost besides the jacket, and besides her demeanor, and besides what she somewhat looked like in some areas, I kind of had to take a guess because I couldn't remember exactly every single detail about Blue. And it's so weird, but I really do like her a lot. Even more so to the point, I kind of got a story for her, and I understand kind of what type of character she is. I'm thinking Blue and her friends are like poor, because I'm thinking the way I saw them in the dream, like they had a bunch of bandages on, they didn't really look like they had that much money, And so I'm going to assume that Blue and her like 3 other friends was like 4 or something, unfortunately. And so especially Blue, because she doesn't talk, I assume that she either run away from home, or she's like or she does just deal with a bad household. And I'm thinking maybe that's one of the two things, honestly. At least that's what I get the feeling of when I remember her. So definitely Blue is an interesting case. I honestly almost thought Blue was a real person for a second, but because that's how strong that dream was. But obviously it's a dream was a dream. That really, a person like Blue, while it could be a possibility that someone like that could exist, it's not going to be the same way as I think it is. Anyway, so I tried to make Blue into Kakatsu, and obviously there's limitations on what we can do, so I can't do it necessarily everything that I wanted, but I did something that looks a bit satisfying, something that looks a bit like, I guess, the feeling of Blue, like she's there. And so this is what Blue looks like, honestly. Still, doesn't really talk much, doesn't really, shy, is a really shy person, but she loves music, and she definitely loves the bass guitar a lot. And that's really her entire thing. She won't talk to you, but if you like the music that she plays, you'll be fine. And that's pretty much it, honestly. And yeah, honestly, that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video. I really just wanted to cover this character because it's something I'd never really do, and that's make OC characters like that, because, I usually end up forgetting how to draw them, so I don't even bother doing that anymore. But for this one, I definitely wanted to bring it up to everybody's attention. Now, I probably won't share Blue because this one feels special. I feel like she doesn't need to be looted all the time. She is going to get looted, but not all the time. But if anything, I would definitely give y'all Chisa. I'll probably give y'all the Chisa card versus the Blue one, because it just feels weird if I gave y'all Blue, like right off the bat. So definitely, will I add her to the story of Kakatsu? Who knows? Will I add her to any other things? Maybe, but we'll have to see. But definitely, I did want to cover Blue and just talk about it, because she's kind of cute. Like, look at her. She really is kind of cute, honestly. She's almost as tall as me. Jeez. But yeah, pretty much. And I think in a dream, she was like underneath my shoulder, which is really freaking short. But yeah, definitely, when it comes down to it, I really wanted to just cover this because this was an interesting dream and an interesting character, and I haven't even gone over every detail about it, but this is just what I wanted to cover mainly, though. So hopefully, maybe we'll see Blue on the channel a lot more, who knows, but she was just an interesting character to, create and, dream about, that I just couldn't let the opportunity slip by me to not do anything about that dream or think about what she might look like. So yeah, definitely that is what I wanted to cover for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification anyway else. Also follow me on Twitter to talk about this. If you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon and Ko-Fi is available as well. And until then, this is your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.